Okay, in this video I am making termite bait stations that I'm going to put around the perimeter of my house. And I'll put a link and a reference to where I obtained the information, but basically I'm using 0 Gatorade bottles, or it doesn't really matter what brand you use, as long as they're thicker plastic, because these are going to be submerged into the ground. So let's go with the process of making these termite bait stations. I've got a small drill bit. I've got a blade. I'm going to use some cutting. I've got some balsa sticks, little paintbrush, some black paint, and I use fluorescent paint. So let's go through the process together. First, you're going to cut your balsa sticks so that they're a little large. They go into the bottle, the orange stick facing in. You're going to cut them a little bit larger than the jar holds, because when you put the cap on, you want to exert some pressure to hold that balsa stick in, so that the end result is that you can monitor these, like this collection I'm making here. You can see the orange tip is the end of this balsa stick that has a fluorescent paint on it. So I just took fluorescent paint and painted into them. Then once I cut one size, then I was able to continue to cut. To ultimately, I'm going to make 24 of these. So you can see I've left it a little bit higher. So when I put the cap on, it'll exert pressure and hold it in place. Of course, the fluorescent will be inserted in the bottle, because when they're submerged in the ground, they'll be put in this position. So don't let me jump ahead. Let's start over with the process of getting this bottle prepared. And I'm going to take the label off. I'm just using my knife blade here to remove this label. Ultimately, I end up with a clear bottle. Let me discard that. Now I need to get the balsa stick inserted in here with pressure from the cap. So what I do is I use a little small drill bit and go into the bottom of the bottle. And I'll come back and seal that. But with that in place, then I'll turn the fluorescent into the bottle, find the center point of that drill bit, and you can pretty much just push it into place. It's very soft. This balsa wood is very soft, but if you need to, just drill into it. Ultimately, you want to get it at the end, inside the bottle, somewhat centered. And then once you've done that, I'm going to put the cap on. It's going to exert pressure, and I'll show you that in just a second. Let me set the drill bit up and put the cap on here. And this is, you're not seeing this on camera, but I'll show you in just a second here. Let me center this here a little bit. Okay. All right. And let me remove it. Then I can show you the end result. Now you can see, looking in the plastic bottle, you can see the black paint. You'll see in a minute that I'm using. But you can see now that it's inserted, it's centered in the bottle, and it has pressure to hold it in place. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut sections out of the bottle for the termites to enter, or if you're lucky, no termites to enter. But you want to cut pathways in, and you stage them. So don't cut yourself. All right, so and do them in a pattern. It's not science here. All right, see, I've made an opening. Now I'll cut one there. I'll cut one here. Cut one here. Then I'll come up in opposite directions and cut some out of the top sections here. Again, this is not really a science, just a project. So, all right, so let me cut. A couple of them out. I can show you that on camera. What I'm doing. Okay, so now let me show you here on camera what I've done. You can kind of see. So I've just cut some positions out, and you probably can cut a lot straighter than me. Now I'm going to come up in the opposite direction. So like if I've cut a section here, I'll come up here and I'm going to cut sections out around the top of the bottle. And again, you just want little small openings that would be entryways for the termites, if you should have termites, so they can enter the bait station or the monitoring station. And I'll show you once more on camera here in just a second. So I'm having to operate the camera at the same time. So I've just cut some same openings up around the top. Now, once you've done that, you want to take some acrylic. I'm just using acrylic latex paint here. And I'm painting around the balsa stick here, that fluorescent on the end. This is going to make this highly visible. And I do come back and do a second coat after the first coat's dried. These are going to be out in your yard, your property, and they're going to be rain and so forth, so I'll put a second coat on them. I'm just painting up to the orange fluorescent, and I'll do a little around the edge. Okay, and I'll let that dry, and then I'll do a second coat. But let me show you again. Whoops. Let's show you again so you can see sort of where I'm at. You can see now I've made, 17 stations. These have second coats, but the fluorescent on the end is very visible. So once these are installed, then you can just monthly walk around your property and see if you see any activity. I mean, in essence, what's going to happen if you have termites, subterranean type termites, when they enter to eat the balsa wood here, ultimately the stick's going to fall in. You're no longer going to see that fluorescent end. So when it collapses in, it's an indication that you probably have termites. And then you can put bait in place to deal with the termite issue on your property. Now I got all of this information myself by watching videos and looking on YouTube. I live in a climate where we have the potential for termites, of course, more prevalent for termites. So these are monitoring stations that will help you determine and hopefully prevent termite activity. Okay, so that just needs to dry and a second coat gets added, and then I'll show you in the rest of the video the installation. Okay, now I'm out here getting ready for installation. Got a drill, an auger, one of my monitoring station bottles, a tape measure, and a cord because I'm using electric drill. I placed one already. I'm going to set these at 4 foot apart. So I'll do a 4 foot drill about 8.5 to 9 inches deep, inset the bottle, and move on. Okay, and you can see I've used basically this auger, drill auger, and I've gone about 8.5 to 9 inches down. We'll set it right below the mow line, fill it in. Then you can easily monitor these monthly. And there's your finished product, basically. So just monitor them monthly. When you no longer see the orange, that's evidence of termites. And these are really monitoring stations. I call them baiting, because you can come in and bait these, but I'm using them basically as monitoring to let me know before termites get to my house, which I've already treated anyway, but this will help you monitor your situation. All right, thanks for watching.